Years ago, this woman's death was a high-profile murder case. The pregnant St. Louis County mother stabbed just feet from her infant son. Now, almost 30 years later, the search for Valencia Reynolds' killer has gone cold. Only on 4 tonight, for the first time publicly, we hear from the child who walked away alive. Here's News 4 investigator Susan El-Khoury.
The only thing in my head that I remember is a police officer literally walking into my room, picking me up out of my crib, and then walking me out of the house.
Broken memories of a night a Key Heron can't forget.
I can remember the house, I can remember the door.
All flashbacks to when he was 18 months old.
There's at least about 5, 6 officers.
And the last time he saw his mom alive.
I'm just sat in the car and they closed the door.
It was May 16, 1992. This house, nestled in the Castle Point neighborhood off Lore Drive, is where police found Valencia Reynolds, 9 months pregnant, lying on her bedroom floor. Someone stabbed her 25 times, killing Valencia and the daughter she was expecting any day.
I was literally the only person right there.
Police believe the killer slipped out the night before, leaving a Key unharmed and alone in the dark.
Couldn't do anything, couldn't say anything, couldn't go for help, couldn't be there for her, just right there.
This is the first time he's speaking publicly about what happened.
Like my entire life, I have not known that what happened. And I was right there.
The years since then are marked by headlines as investigators and the family pushed for answers.
I released this for the 3rd year that my daughter's murder has not been solved.
When you lose a child, I don't care what anybody say, you can't just forget that child. You cannot forget it.
Cosette Ford stepped in and raised her grandson.
This is when he was also little.
She says pictures don't capture the rough time her daughter was going through. She'd just broken things off with her fiance, who was the father of the baby she was expecting, and had a strained relationship with her son's father.
I'm going to give you a pistol. You don't let anybody in the house that you didn't invite.
But Cosette says it's one of the last conversations with her daughter that troubles her to this day.
Mama, something should happen to me. Promise me you can raise my... She said, promise me you'll raise my, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She says, promise that you will raise my baby.
Back at the crime scene, St. Louis County Police found no signs that someone forced their way into the home. Investigators ruled out a robbery, only saying the killer left few clues behind. For Valencia's cousin, Armand Morris, it's not much consolation.
I don't wish this pain upon anyone. This is the worst nightmare that anyone can possibly endure.
Police focused on the 2 men in Valencia's life. Ricky Heron, her son's father, and Antoine Jackson, her ex-fiance. It was Jackson who discovered Valencia's body when he came to check on her. But police quickly ruled both men out as suspects. Jackson was living with another woman, and police say he passed a polygraph. Meanwhile, investigators say Heron failed his polygraph, but had an alibi. He claimed he spent the night at a hotel with multiple witnesses. Officers checked his room and found nothing.
It kind of got dragged out and there was no answers, and people were starting to slowly get left off the hook based on the investigations from the police.
When early leads dried up, police began questioning neighbors across the street who were known to frequent Valencia's home. All of them were cleared, but time kept ticking. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. The case went cold.
It's like this boogie monster has taken over and no one put a face to it. And to this day, this boogie monster still kind of haunts us.
2 years after Valencia's murder, Herron was in prison accused of stabbing a man to death. He was sentenced to 10 years, leaving a key growing up with a father who wasn't part of his life and a mother he could barely remember.
It's been 30 years. It's hard to hold on to memories that long.
But one thing never changed, the thought that keeps haunting him. Who did this? And in his heart, he says he knows.
Yeah, definitely. This is kind of a no-brainer for me, and I want that closure. I want to be able to say, okay, I can forgive you, but I just want to know why.
Police say there is hope in solving this case. Investigators collected DNA samples from the suspects at the time. They just needed to match a new piece of evidence someday. And if you have any information that can help St. Louis County detectives, please contact them. And to hear a long version of the interview with Valencia's son and more on this investigation, open the story on your KMOV News app.